Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to get back on the channel. Tony Norman, Mikey Webber Kane's head coach. And yeah, it's a big week for Mikey. Of course, he's fighting Robert Caswell for the Southern Area Super Featherweight title, which is vacant. And that's at your call this Saturday. And yeah, good to get you on.
Yeah, thank you for having me, buddy.
Anytime, mate. And yeah, I had you on July last year. But he's had two fights since then, hasn't he? And he fought Simon in September against Simmons Valonaz, and he beat him 40-36.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Talk
It was
about that
good.
fight.
Yeah, it was just kind of a tick over fight, really, just to keep him active and busy, and it was a good opportunity for Mikey to showcase some of his other skills that he hasn't been able to show in previous fights.
Well, of course, Robert Caswell was fighting on that night as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. They've fought on a couple of shows. We actually the first time we met Robert, we shared a changing room with him. That was on a boxing social show. So I think they were probably always destined to sort of meet each other along the way.
That was in April, that one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, do you think it was a good performance from Mikey that night?
Yeah, very good. He got to show that he boxed the majority of it southpaw. Mikey. Well, everyone knows Mikey's a switch hitter. He's very comfortable with both, and yeah, he got the job done. And with these sorts of journeymen, there's no point going in there and just wiping them out because you don't really learn anything. So get the rounds in, and then when it comes to a title fight, you've got all them rounds in, and you're prepared fully, and you're good for the 10.
Mm-hmm. Of course, then Mikey was meant to be fighting Caswell in October, but that got cancelled. Can you explain why the fight got cancelled the first time?
Yeah, Robert in his last spar, unfortunately, got a perforated eardrum. So look, no boxer should be boxing with that. And, a lot of boxers are quite brave, and he did the right thing by not boxing, and it just got rescheduled and gives them both a bit more time to get ready, and that makes for a more exciting fight, I think, this time.
I mean, it's good that you got Mikey out on a Norwich a show in Norwich. Just another tick over fight, but at least that camp got into use, even though it was in December. You was meant to fight in October, but you still got a fight before the year ended.
Yeah, that's right. It's important for these young guys to just be active. An active fighter is a good fighter, and you only get better if you're competing regular. So it was a good fight. Santiago was tough lad. He's tall. Yeah, it was a good fight, good performance by Mikey, and yeah, he got through, got the win, and then now it's on to the big one.
Of course, and of course, the big one it is this weekend. He's got Robert Caswell, who is 8-0. Yeah, and it's for the Southern Area Super Featherweight title. Talk about is it on Fight Zone? Do you know?
I believe so, but I think it's going out the next day. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think because there's another show on with a British title fight, so I heard. But yeah, it's massive. I think Southern Area title is overlooked by quite a few fighters, but it's the starting block to what could be a very successful career for either boxer, whoever wins. Obviously, I think Mikey will win that. And it's a fantastic fight. You've got two young, hungry, unbeaten fighters. They've both got completely different styles, and we all know styles make fights. And may the best man win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did camp go? Of course. Yeah. How did camp go?
Yeah, we don't do camps. We train all year round. Like what everyone says, it's been the best camp ever. But to be fair, everything's gone great. He always trains hard. You don't get no you don't get nothing less but 100% from Mikey all the time. He's remains professional. Nothing really phases him. I've never met anyone who's as strong-minded as him, and it's gone great. And I do think the extra few months has done him the world of good, but it's probably done Robert the world of good as well.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah. what does the Southern Area title mean to you as a coach, and of course your fighter Mikie?
Well, as a coach, personally, this is massive for us because I was the first person to put a pair of gloves on Mikie. You know, through he boxed unlicensed for a few years, and then we went amateur with England Boxing, and amateur with the Alliance, and then professional. So I really do think Mikey's deserved this shot because he's really earned it. He's fought some really good lads. You know,
Mm.
unlicensed, that ex amateur champions. And he's always performed well. Yeah, so it's massive for me as a coach. You know, it'll be my first title fight that I've been involved in with my own fighter. For Mikie, it's a stepping stone towards possibly, you know, something bigger. Mikey's got aspirations to, you know, win this and then move on towards English and British, and then see where we go from there.
Mm. Yeah, you've got of course Robert. What do you know about Robert? And have you seen him box a few times?
Yeah, seen him box a few times. You know, he's a very good fighter. He's very well schooled. So all credit to his amateur club. What I think it was St Mary's. Boxed at a high level amateur. Yeah, he's a good boxer. Look, anyone who's boxing for a title is going to be a good fighter, you know, and it makes for a fantastic night, really.
Hmm. Would you say, of course, Mikey's more, I would say Caswell's more of a sort of slick, he's a slick sort of boxer, likes going on the back foot. With Mikey, he's more of a come forward, aggressive, he's got a good engine on him.
Yeah, I see Mikey a bit different. Everyone sort of says Mikey's well, if everyone thinks he's a pressure fighter, then you know you can think he's a pressure
No, but
fighter.
he can box on the back foot
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
We've
you know,
seen
Mikey could do it, not do everything, you know, but he can box, he can fight. He's got a very good engine on him. He's got a brilliant boxing brain, tough as it comes, and honestly, nothing phases him. His last fight, his dad had a heart attack a couple of days before the fight, where most people would pull out, and Mikey didn't. Mikey, you know, said, "I'm a professional. I've got a job to do. My dad's in hospital," and there was no difference in him at all. His mind is just solid as a rock. So yeah, he's you know, he's a good lad, and you know Robert's a very good boxer. Make no mistake about that. We know what we're up against, and we've trained 100%, and there's no excuses on the night, no matter what the result. You know, Mikey knows he's done his best, and I've got him as best as I could. So yeah, like what I keep saying, makes for a very interesting fight on the night.
hmm. Do you put any pressure on? Um, do you guys put pressure on yourself knowing this is like fighting for a belt? Is there any? Is there a bit more added like sort of pressure on you guys?
Um, uh, Obviously there's going to be a little bit, but there's not like I'm saying to Mikey, oh, this is at stake. It's just another fight, but there is a belt on the line, and obviously there could be some big things coming off this. But there's no more added pressure. It's just another fight, and we've got a job to do, and like we're very professional in how we go about our work, and you know you'll see that on the night.
Do you guys feel like you'll get the stoppage, or you know the usual saying you won't go looking for it if it's there, it's there.
No, Mikey never looks for a stoppage. We just go in and fight. You know, look, they're both good boys, and they're both in 8 ounce gloves. So you know, whoever lands, you know, lands a good shot, they're going to land a good shot. But Mikey's ready, and I do think Mikey's very underrated in boxing, and underestimate Mikey at your peril. I think because he's a good kid.
Do you guys feel like you're the underdogs going into the fight?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we're the underdogs in every fight. Mikey always has been. Look, we're from a small town in Great Yarmouth. It's sort of like, you know, arse end of the country. We get overlooked, you know, even locally with the newspapers, and there's not much sort of like buzz around it. But we're used to that. No matter where we go, we've never really fought at home. We've always fought away. So yeah, don't mind being the underdog. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's just two blokes in there with two fists. They both got a heartbeat, so best man wins.
Hmm. Do you feel like Mikey strives off being overlooked? Maybe, not necessarily overlooked, like written off a bit,
Um,
being the
no,
underdog.
no. Again, like nothing phases Mikey at all. Like it doesn't. Whether he could be, you know, main event and he's expected to win, or he's the underdog and his attitude's the same. He's just he's not a perfect, because no one's perfect, but he's a very, very good professional. He knows his job. He knows what he's got to do. So nothing really phases him in that aspect.
Hmm. Um, what does like the Southern Area title mean to you guys?
It means everything. Obviously I've grew up with boxing all my life, and there's been some fantastic Southern Area champions. You go back from the days of Mark Bliss, who's a good friend of mine, he's coach at Chesson. And it's a stepping stone for the bigger fights, and it gets you prepared for those big fights, because so many boxers would overlook the Southern Area and jump straight to an English and British and then lose. But look at Dan Aziz, what he's done. Gone
Mm.
from Southern Area, English, British, Commonwealth, European. He's involved in a fantastic fight with Joshua Buatsi. You can't knock the lad, because he's done it the hard way. And me and Mikey, especially Mikey, we wouldn't want nothing else but to do it the right way. Because we respect boxing above everything.
Mm. Yeah. What can fans expect from Mikey this Saturday night?
Mikey, just expect Mikey. Tough. He's very fit. He's got a fantastic engine on him. He'll never give up. He's got that Spartan sort of heart and motto. And you'll see some exciting. It's just going to be a really exciting fight.
Yeah. What time do you guys think you'll be on? Of course, there's another title fight also that's on the show. What time do you feel like Mikey will be fighting?
We're not sure. I guess we'll find it out tomorrow at weigh-in, but it's either going to be main event or co-main event, because you've got another fantastic fight with Marley and Louis.
Mm.
Louis and Mikey have done like a fair few rounds together. So
Good rounds.
yeah, very good rounds, very, very competitive. And Louis is a good kid. We've not sparred with Marley, but Marley's a cracking lad. He's a character, but the boy can fight as well. So make no mistake about that. That fight, that's going to be a really, really interesting one. That's going to be a bit spicy, that one, I think.
So 2 top fights.
Yeah, it's great, and this is what boxing needs: is too many fighters try and protect their O's, and let the young guns have a little crack at each other, because if you lose a fight, it doesn't mean the end of your career.
You can bounce back from it.
Yeah, you can bounce back, and I think that Mayweather effect of keeping your O's kind of gone now, and people want to be involved in some really, really good fights.
You see in some fighters who were like 3-0 going into big fights, like those sort of things. That's what you want. You want these. No offense to the journeyman, because they are tough and they are game, but fans want to see some 50-50s.
Yeah, I think people don't really understand the game of boxing as such, because your journeymans are there to help kids become men, because back in the day you was an amateur until you was about 18, 19, 20, then you turn over, then you do 10 to 15 learning fights against good strong men, and then you work your way up. But boxing's kind of it went away from that a little bit, where everyone's just trying to knock everyone out. They didn't want to learn the game properly. But I think it's good with the young boys fighting each other early. In terms of boxing, I'd like to see like a little UFC format, where they've got the ranking system. When you turn professional, you start at the bottom and then you work your way up through the rankings. That would be good to see. 2 debutants, both really top amateurs, go at each other. But I understand at the same time you've got to build a profile up of a fighter, and if you've got a good fighter, you want to look after him, because if they're going to be a superstar in the future, you don't want them getting losses too early. But I think boxing's changing for the better now.
Mm. Yeah, what do you make of the whole boxing in Saudi Arabia at the minute?
Well, they're getting fights done, aren't they? That nobody else could get done before. I hope it doesn't have a knock-on effect with massive fights in the UK. So it'd be nice maybe for the guys in Saudi to come over to England and get the big fights on. But it's absolutely brilliant for boxing. You know, you look at some of the cards they've had on, and the boys are getting paid well, and the girls they're
Mm.
getting paid good money. So that's
Seeing all
quite
the
good.
promoters work together as well, which is good to
Yeah,
see.
fantastic because it's been a long time coming, I think, and now you're going to see the best fight the best. And you go back to the 80s, early 90s. That's what it was. They didn't care about. Well, obviously they cared about losing, but it
Mm.
wasn't. They weren't trying to protect. They weren't cherry picking. You look at
Fight the
the
best to be the best, sort of.
yeah, I mean, I'd love to see some young fighters now do Mickey Ward, Torrigatti, Barrera, Morales. You know, that's the era I grew up with boxing. Where you know, when I was boxing, I grew up watching that era, and that's fantastic. And hopefully, boxing will be more like that again.
Hmm. Let's hope so. And yeah, thank you for your time, mate, and all the best with Mikey this Saturday night. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Sorry, it couldn't be a bit longer, but obviously, day
All
before
good.
in, we're busy. I'm at working and that, and well done with your page. You're doing really well. It's good to see a young man really pushing himself. You're not scared to interview anyone and everyone. I've seen you've got some big names on your page, so it's fantastic. Well done. Keep it up, Sam.
I appreciate it, mate, and yeah, good luck with Mikey on Saturday. All the
Yeah,
best.
are you there Saturday?
I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
I wish you all the best anyway.
no worries, mate. And if you're there, we'll pop in and say hello. All right,
Hmm.
mate.
Good luck. Bye.
Very much. Cheers.